What's up, everybody? This video is going to be a movie review of What If Season 3, Episode 2, What If Agatha Went to Hollywood. If you haven't seen this episode, I would recommend watching it first and then watching this video. But if you do not watch it before this video, that's up to you then. Okay, so now we've got the spoiler warning out of the way. Let's talk about this. So, What If Season 3, Episode 2 is titled What If Agatha Went to Hollywood. Now, in this episode, we see the main focus is on Agatha Harkness, and she's still a witch, still got her powers, but instead of walking the road, she's actually a film star, and from around a different time as well. Because her movie producer, this is what she's doing, she's making movies for Hollywood, and her movie producer, if I guess you can call him that, is Howard Stark. So, yeah, and he's got like a co-director, I guess, with him, who I will dive into in a bit. So, that's cool. Then, what you see basically is Agatha is loving this because she's getting a load of attention, with the good kind of attention, because they're like, oh my god, Agatha, we love your films, that sort of attention. It doesn't show it into that much depth, but it's clear that she's getting that kind of attention for being a big movie star, and a lot of that attention she's getting is from Howard himself, because he's like, anything for her, because she's making these movies with me, and these are amazing movies. So, yeah. And realistically, she is doing it not just for that, but for her, she's finding it, at least at the start, she's thought of it as a way she can basically try to gain as much power as she possibly can, without showing off her powers to every single person that is in the world. Because then she'd have to potentially deal with more battles and crap like that. But she thinks that no one's aware, at least no one on set is aware, of that she's a witch and she's got these powers. But Howard, later on we find out that Howard does know, because he says something along the lines of, I'm the smartest man in the world, why wouldn't I know? That sort of thing. And he's okay with her being a witch and using her powers on set, because he sees it as great to be in the movie, great effects, and he can say these are effects we've done, but I'm not telling you how we're done it, that sort of thing, to make it, and he feels it's going to make his movie a blockbuster, which it, let's face it, probably does. And he said to her, I don't mind if you use it as long as I can just film you when you're doing it, and she's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what happens, and we find out that basically there's this celestial who she wants to defeat, and she needs the help of Kingo, from the Eternals, and she says to him she wants his help because she needs his powers, and he's like, no way, I'm not doing that. But she basically says to him, look, I'm not trying to do anything bad here, I'm trying to save the world from this big celestial being, but I can't do that without your help, I need your powers. And he agrees to it, they make a deal, so she ends up getting his powers, and then with a combination of her powers and his powers, she basically blasts it into the earth, into the core of the earth, to attack something there, and then gains that, whatever that is, that's powers. So she's now got like her powers, Kingo's powers, and then that like earth creature, I'm calling it, like powers mixed in. So she then uses that, and with all that power, she becomes this big ethereal being, and she then goes and attacks this big celestial, who's this big villain she's been painting out to be, and she defeats him. Perfect. And Kingo's like, oh great, you've done it, well done, Agatha. And then she shows her true Agatha style, she's like, oh, none of that was really true. I didn't care about saving the world, I just wanted to defeat him so I could be this person, be the most have a load of powerful, and be as powerful as possible. So that is what she was doing for that fact at that time. She did not care about anyone else, she just wanted the power. Kingo realises it, and then that co-director person, who's basically with Howard Stark and trying to stop Howard from willingly letting Agatha use her powers, but it doesn't really work. he basically says something which then Kingo's like, "Oh, you're a genius," says their name, which I'll get to in the end, or in a bit, and basically connect with Agatha, makes it so they're the only people there to hear, and it's a really heartwarming-esque bit part of that, and basically he managed to talk her down, and she then agrees to sort of stop this quest for power thing and come back to be sort of normal, which is, I say normal for a witch, her sort of usual witch self. Whether she's kept the powers or not, I don't know, but that is what they agree on. So, you know, that's great. And then they have this big poster for the movie that they've done, starring with all of what's happened is in the movie basically, but people think it's a fact when it's not. Or I say people as in like the people wanting to watch a film in that universe, obviously. So that's great. And she's like, oh my god, at the end you can see her sort of on the carpet, and she's like talking about a sequel, and yeah. And it's all great, and Howard's happy because it's a blockbuster, she's happy with the attention, and Kingo's happy as well because of the attention, but also because he's a movie star as well still. Like, so he's happy with both. But not only that, he is also happy that he managed to stop her from being this big, bad, powerful creature, unwilling to help anyone. She just wants power, which is great. And this person that I was talking about, the co-director, they are called Jarvis, and when Howard Stark originally, sort of towards the start of the episode, called out Jarvis, I was like, oh cool, Jarvis is going to be in it. I thought it was going to be the robot, but no, it was an actual person. Like an English British person. I don't know who voiced him, but Jarvis is actually a person, so it makes, at least in this universe, Jarvis was originally a person. Whether then Iron Man named it after him or what happened, I don't know. But at least in this universe, Jarvis was actually a person, not just like some thing that I think either Howard or Tony made, which you can hear in the Iron Man suits. And yeah, now what do I think? I think this was better than the first episode, but a lot of that is probably because it's Agatha, and I really wanted to see more Agatha, especially after what we got with Agatha all along. I was so happy to have more Agatha. Yes, it's animated, not live action, but it's still Catherine Hahn voicing it, and it's still Agatha, so great. And it was amazing visuals, and What If always is amazing visuals. Don't get me wrong. No matter whether I dislike the episode or I like it, still really good visuals. But the scene when she goes all ethereal, I loved that. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, now some slight criticisms. One is the fact that at the end of that point, when Kingo managed to talk her down from being this big, powerful being and actually come back to Earth and helping, not just doing anything she can for as much power as possible. The thing is, I expect, because Agatha was going all nice, and she was like, yeah, I really zoning into it and making Kingo believe she was actually, what he's saying was working, and she was willing to do it. And she did do it. Now, the thing is, with Agatha, she is, if it was actually like the Agatha we've seen in her show, she wouldn't have been like that. She would have been like, oh yeah, you want me to help you? Well, what you're saying does sound actually right, but no, I'm not going to do it. I'll still not do it, because that is true Agatha form. But the thing is, I've also got to remember the fact that, you know, it's still different from the live action version we've seen in Agatha all along, but also because it's a different universe to the main timeline, this means that it might not be the same sort of Agatha. She might be a lot easier to talk to and not as evil she is in the show. I say evil, she's really she's misunderstood, to be honest, which is probably why she was the Wicked Witch of the West in that episode of her show, because actually Elphaba, who's actually Wicked Witch of the West, is actually called Elphaba, and she's really misunderstood rather than pure evil, and that's probably why. But regardless of that, yeah, so that was interesting. But also, the fact that another thing is Kingo. I was like, I love this, or what I think that was him anyway. But obviously, if I'm wrong, please correct me with that. But I loved his scenes in it, and I thought he was really good in it. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt it was weird bringing him into it as well. I was like, oh, great, right. But it still worked well in it, and I still enjoyed it a lot more than the first episode anyway. So yeah, but my biggest pet peeve, or not pet peeve, but my biggest criticism of this episode was the fact of how Agatha's sexuality. They straightened her out a lot more, so making her either sort of more straight, and she didn't feel like a bisexual or a lesbian. Whereas in the live action show, Agatha all along, she's clearly at least clearly a lesbian, if not bisexual. But at the same time, like I said, they might have done that because it's a different universe version, so they didn't want to paint her out so similar as the main timeline version. So still, and for that reason, I'm not gonna grade it down too much. I still really enjoyed it, and I preferred it over the first episode. So for that reason, my overall rating of the episode is an 8 out of 10. So yeah, my next video I shall be recording. I've got a I need to do a movie review of a Disney Plus original short movie, Simpsons One for Christmas. It's 45 minutes. So yeah, I said before, sort of, if it's more than 30 minutes, I'd class it as a short movie, and it's 45 minutes, so fine. But yeah, I won't be recording that video until tomorrow at the earliest. Mainly because the day of recording this video, I've been doing some work this morning whilst I had the Jim Carrey Grinch on, and then I've watched What If, and I've been sort of doing some stuff on my computer, really, and I've done some stuff, and we've had friends around, and this evening I haven't really got around to making a video, and it's as of recording this video, and it is, I don't feel like doing loads and loads of videos. I'm only doing this one video tonight because I've seen the episode, and I really want like I've said before, I'm doing a review for each episode, but I really want to review them the day I see it. But what I'm trying to do is because they release, it's not once every week, it's once every day for 8 days. So what I want to do is watch the episode the day it releases, and then make a video of that episode the day that episode has been released, and then release it on that day. So it runs from December 22nd to December 30th. So for example, like I done yesterday. Yesterday was December 22nd, episode 1 released. I watched episode 1, made a review of episode 1, and I released episode 1, or published my episode 1 review on YouTube. And then same with today. Today, episode 2 released. I watched episode 2 today, and then tonight I've done a review of episode 2, and I've released it, or will release it. Yeah. But yeah, so just to recap, I've also got What If season 3, episode 3 to watch tomorrow, which I've forgotten the name of it as of now, but I will be watching that tomorrow. And like I said, I want to watch it tomorrow as it releases tomorrow, then record a video of me reviewing it, and then publish that video onto YouTube for me tomorrow. So I've got that to do tomorrow, but I've also got to do the review of the Simpsons movie. I think I will be able to at least record both videos tomorrow, so it's just a case of uploading them. But yeah, so now, just to recap, like I said, so next videos to expect are What If season 3 episode 3, and a Disney Plus original Simpsons short movie, which is something like "Oh Come On" or "Ye Faithful," something like that. It's like C an apostrophe. It's not as "come on," but made it shorter to "come on." Like, I don't know why, but probably because there's something that Simpsons would do, short and sweet. I guess, I don't know. But yeah, Then obviously in future I've still got What If Season 3, Episode 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then Mufasa the Lion King, which I still don't know I still need to work out with how I'm going to do that one. But yeah, and my overall score of What If Season 3, Episode 2, titled What If Agatha Went to Hollywood, is an 8 out of 10. So thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.